2025's lineup of open-world games is looking pretty insane. From long-awaited sequels to ambitious new IPs. In this video, we'll be going over some of the biggest ones to keep an eye on. Just a heads up though, while these games are expected to launch this year, delays are pretty common in the industry, so no promises here. Here's what's on the horizon. Grand Theft Auto 6. Okay, it's a dead giveaway that GTA 6 would make this list, and for obvious reasons. If previous games are any indication of what Rockstar has in store, then we're probably looking at another groundbreaking entry in open-world gaming. This time, the story revolves around a pair of protagonists inspired by Bonnie and Clyde. Their criminal rise and complicated relationship are set against the backdrop of a modern reimagining of Vice City. But it's not just neon-lit streets and fast cars. The map is rumored to expand into the countryside, swamps, and even nearby islands, giving you a massive world to explore. As for gameplay, Rockstar is reportedly stepping things up in every way. From deeper heists to refined combat and vehicle mechanics, everything feels tailored to immerse you in this high-stakes, crime-filled world. NPCs will react dynamically to your choices, the weather, and even the time of day, making the world feel more alive than ever. There's no exact release date yet, but Rockstar has teased that GTA 6 is expected to drop sometime in 2025. It'll be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, and PC.
Trust?
Trust.
Monster Hunter Wilds. If you're into hunting massive, awe-inspiring monsters with insanely cool weapons, Monster Hunter Wilds is shaping up to be an incredible entry in the series. The MH franchise has always been about epic battles, and this time it's expanding into a whole new frontier. For those new to the series, you play as a hunter tasked with tracking, fighting, and capturing huge, dangerous monsters. Each encounter is like a boss fight, where strategy, timing, and preparation are just as important as your weapon of choice. Speaking of weapons, there's a huge variety to choose from, each with its own playstyle, so you can fight how you want. There's also the new focus mode, which lets you target specific monster parts to create wounds and deal extra damage. On top of that, the environment itself plays a major role, weather conditions and time of day directly affecting monster behavior. Monster Hunter Wilds is set to release on February 28, 2025 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, and PC. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Hideo Kojima is back with Death Stranding 2, and if the first game taught us anything, it's that we're in for another mind-bending, genre-defying experience. The original Death Stranding was all about connection and rebuilding a fractured world, and this sequel looks like it's taking those themes even further. You'll once again play as Sam Porter Bridges, portrayed by Norman Reedus, as he sets out on a new mission to save humanity. You'll face new enemies, form new alliances, and wrestle with tough questions throughout your journey. The gameplay builds on the core mechanics of the original, but adds some exciting new layers. Terrain now changes in real time with dynamic events like floods, forest fires, and earthquakes, making traversal even more challenging. Structures you build can also be damaged or destroyed, so keeping your network intact is more important than ever. While there's no exact release date yet, Death Stranding 2 is set to launch sometime in 2025 as a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Humanity will be free from the need to move around. Bots are capable of handling delivery.
Dying Light: The Beast. Techland is back with a standalone zombie survival adventure that brings back Kyle Crane, the protagonist from the original game. Originally planned as DLC for Dying Light 2, it evolved into its own game, offering a fresh yet familiar experience. The story picks up in Castor Woods, a once beautiful tourist destination turned nightmare. After escaping 13 years of captivity and horrifying experiments, Crane is out for revenge, but his journey reveals a much bigger threat lurking in the shadows. The gameplay feels familiar with its signature parkour and intense melee combat, but this time Crane's been enhanced. Thanks to those experiments, he's got superhuman abilities, like faster movement and beast mode, which lets you pull off devastating attacks and even use environmental objects as weapons. Of course, the day-night cycle is back, so you'll still have to plan carefully when the sun goes down, as the infected become even deadlier. The game is set to launch in mid-2025 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, and PC. Chrono Odyssey. If you're into MRPGs that push the envelope, Chrono Odyssey should definitely be on your radar. This upcoming title promises a next-gen, action-packed experience set in a breathtaking open world. In this game, you'll explore the vast and seamless world of Cetera, a land filled with dangers and chaos caused by twisted time and space. Armed with the Chronotector, a powerful artifact that allows you to manipulate time, you'll uncover the mysteries of the Void and engage in dynamic events and boss battles alongside other players. And Chronotector isn't just a gimmick either. It's woven directly into the gameplay, adding a fresh layer of strategy to fights and exploration. The game features 6 distinct classes, each with access to 2 unique weapons that can be swapped in real time during combat. This system offers a variety of playstyles, whether you prefer getting up close and personal or attacking from a distance. Honestly, the combat looks mind-blowing awesome that it made me a wee bit skeptical. But here's to hoping the developers deliver on what was promised in the trailer. Originally slated for an earlier release, Chrono Odyssey has been pushed to late 2025 and will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, and PC. Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Tsushima set the bar pretty high for open-world samurai games, and now Ghost of Yotei is here to take things in a bold new direction. This new entry takes the franchise to the stunning landscapes of Hokkaido, and while it isn't a direct sequel, it still carries the same samurai spirit that made the original so great. This time, you'll play as Atsu, a skilled female warrior who takes on the mantle of the Ghost during the dawn of the Edo period in 1603. The gameplay builds on what made Ghost of Tsushima so immersive, such as open-world exploration, intense sword combat, and a deep emotional narrative. But the game introduces new mechanics, giving you more control over Atsu's journey and the choices she makes. Players can expect massive sightlines, dynamic weather conditions, and enhanced environmental interactions, all contributing to a living, breathing world. While an exact release date hasn't been announced, Ghost of Yotei is slated for a 2025 launch as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. If you're into medieval RPGs that don't hold your hand, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is bringing back its unforgiving combat and deep role-playing mechanics for another round. Warhorse Studios is back with a sequel that expands on everything that made the first game such a cult hit: historical accuracy, immersive storytelling, and a combat system that punishes button mashing. You're once again stepping into the boots of Henry, a blacksmith's son turned warrior, but this time, he's no longer the inexperienced kid we first met. He's tougher, more skilled, and ready for the next chapter in his journey through 15th century Bohemia. Combat remains as intense and realistic as ever, but now there are some new tricks up your sleeve. Crossbows and early firearms make their way into battles, and mounted combat is more dynamic. You can even fire crossbows while riding. Dialogue has also been expanded, giving you more ways to influence the world with new persuasion options like appearance, coercion, and dominate. The game is set to launch on February 4th, 2025 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, and PC. Subnautica 2. Subnautica 2 is the next step in Unknown Worlds Entertainment's deep-sea survival series, expanding on the eerie exploration, resource gathering, and tense underwater encounters that made the first 2 games so gripping. But with new biomes, strange new creatures, and a growing mystery surrounding your mission, this sequel is shaping up to be more than just another dive into the deep. One of the biggest changes is online multiplayer, allowing up to 4 players to explore, build, and survive together. Whether you're constructing bases, piloting submersibles, or diving into uncharted depths, teamwork adds a new layer to the experience. But if you prefer solitude, solo play is still as immersive as ever. Subnautica 2 is set to launch into early access in 2025 on PC via Steam, the Epic Games Store, as well as on Xbox Series X or S. The developers plan to refine the game over a 2 to 3 year early access period, adding new biomes, creatures, and story elements based on player feedback. Crimson Desert. Coming from Pearl Abyss, the same studio behind Black Desert Online, this game takes the MMO's signature action combat and adapts it into a massive open-world action adventure. You play as Cliff, a mercenary with a troubled past, trying to survive in a war-torn land filled with shifting alliances, betrayals, and power struggles. The world of Pyrrole is harsh and unforgiving, and your journey is bound to be just as brutal. Combat is probably one of the biggest highlights of the game. While it shares the flashy, real-time action style of Black Desert, it leans more into weighty, visceral melee combat. It offers grappling moves, brutal combos, and hard-hitting attacks that make every clash feel intense. Exploration is looking just as impressive, with a sprawling world full of diverse towns, dungeons, and countless activities. Stunning visuals, dynamic weather, and highly detailed environments make this one of the best-looking open-world games on the horizon. Crimson Desert is targeting a late 2025 release, though an exact date hasn't been announced yet. It's expected to launch on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, PC via Steam, and Mac. Of Ash and Steel. If you're a fan of classic RPGs from the 2000s, Of Ash and Steel might just hit that nostalgic sweet spot. This upcoming open-world, third-person RPG leans heavily into exploration, survival, and player-driven choices, immersing you in the harsh medieval world of the Kingdom of Seven. There's no hand-holding in the game, no quest markers, no mini-map clutter. Instead, you're encouraged to explore at your own pace, piece together the world's history, and carve out your own path. Combat offers a mix of swords, bows, and magic, allowing for different playstyles. You can customize your abilities, which not only affect your combat prowess, but also influence how NPCs perceive and interact with you. The game is set to release in 2025 on PC via Steam, and while there's no exact date yet, it's definitely one to watch if you're craving that old-school RPG experience with a modern twist. Terminator Survivors. The Terminator franchise has dabbled in video games before, but Terminator Survivors is taking a different approach. This open-world survival game puts you in the aftermath of Judgment Day, long before John Connor's resistance takes shape. You play as a survivor emerging from a shelter 4 years after humanity was nearly wiped out. The world is in ruins, Skynet's machines are still hunting, and survival isn't just about fighting, it's about scavenging for resources, gathering allies, and building a base to stay alive. Rival human factions are also out there, each with their own motives, making every encounter a potential threat or opportunity. The game supports both solo play and online co-op for up to 4 players. You can fortify your base, search the open world for supplies, or engage in tactical combat where teamwork plays a crucial role in staying alive against Skynet's relentless forces. It's worth noting that as of now, no actual gameplay has been shown, so it's still unclear how everything will come together. Terminator Survivors is aiming to launch in early access in 2025 on PC via Steam, with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or S versions planned for a later date. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Well, it finally happened. Ubisoft is taking Assassin's Creed to feudal Japan. Set during the Sengoku period, the game features 2 playable protagonists, Naoi, a shinobi assassin, and Yasuke, a samurai warrior. Players can switch between the 2 outside of main story missions, offering a mix of playstyles. It's worth noting that while the choice of male lead has sparked mixed reactions, Shadows at least looks visually good, with dynamic weather and seasonal changes adding to the immersion. The world is also a mix of bustling towns, fortresses, and rural landscapes, capturing both the beauty and brutality of feudal Japan. The gameplay follows the RPG-heavy direction of recent titles, blending stealth and open combat. Naoi plays like a traditional assassin, moving through the shadows and striking with precision, while Yasuke is built for direct confrontation, using heavy weapons and armor to carve through enemies. Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on March 20th, 2025, for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, PC, and even iPad. But with Ubisoft's history of aggressive monetization in single-player games, it's worth keeping an eye on how they handle it this time around. We Harvest Shadows. If you're into unique genre mashups, We Harvest Shadows might be right up your alley. Developed by David Wheel, the creator of The First Tree, this first-person narrative game blends farming simulation with psychological horror elements. You step into the shoes of Garrett, a man who has isolated himself on an abandoned farm, believing the world is better off without him. By day, you'll engage in tasks like fixing up the house, caring for livestock, and exploring the expansive Appalachian wilderness surrounding the farm. But as night falls, unsettling occurrences suggest that Garrett might not be as alone as he thinks. The game emphasizes atmosphere and storytelling over jump scares, offering a slow-burn horror experience. Players can expect a cinematic soundtrack, dynamic weather changes, and a deeply personal narrative inspired by the developer's own experiences with isolation. There's no official release date for the game, but a demo is available on Steam for those eager to get a taste of this intriguing blend of farming and horror. Light of Motiram. If you've ever wondered what a blend of Horizon Zero Dawn and survival crafting might look like, Light of Motiram seems to be the closest thing. This open-world survival game throws you into a post-apocalyptic landscape teeming with colossal mechanical beasts. You'll explore diverse biomes, build and fortify your base, advance your technology, and tame mechanimals to aid in your survival. The game boasts a free-form building system powered by realistic physics, allowing for creative construction of shelters and fortresses. Combat is dynamic, emphasizing dodging, blocking, and counterattacking, with your tamed mechanimals playing a crucial role in battles against formidable bosses. Visually, the game showcases a variety of environments, from lush rainforests to arid deserts and snowy mountains, each harboring unique mechanimals and secrets to uncover. The developers have also highlighted a co-op gameplay feature, enabling you to team up with friends to tackle the challenges of the wilderness together. It's hard to ignore the striking resemblance to Horizon Zero Dawn, both in aesthetic and concept, but the gameplay looks like it's a lot closer to Palworld. I'm honestly a little torn about the originality of this game, but then again, I felt the same way about Palworld, and that game turned out to be pretty fun. There's no confirmed release date yet, but a lot of people are speculating that it could be released this year. Star Overdrive. Most open-world games focus on exploration, but few make fast, momentum-driven movement the heart of the experience. Star Overdrive takes that concept to the next level, blending high-speed traversal with combat and puzzle solving in a vibrant, futuristic world. The hoverboard isn't just for travel either. It's central to gameplay, letting players pull off tricks, seamlessly traverse the terrain, and interact with the environment in creative ways. Combat is just as dynamic, with fast-paced encounters and large-scale boss fights that push you to stay agile and time your strikes carefully. There's also a keytar mechanic which plays a role in puzzle solving and unlocking new paths throughout the world. With its bold art style and emphasis on movement, Star Overdrive is shaping up to be an exciting mix of action and exploration. If it delivers on its sense of speed and flow, it could be a standout experience for adventure fans. Star Overdrive launches on April 10th, 2025, exclusively for the Nintendo Switch.
I can't say it's going to be easy, but it's going to be fun.
And that's all for this list. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, or a dislike if you didn't. Either way, thanks for watching. And as always, have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one.